We continue our championship cases today by talking about Kyle Busch and why he will win the 2021 championship. Sorry about not getting this up yesterday. Currently moving into an apartment, which is why the background is different, and it will be different, but I have to get everything moved in. I have to get everything together, and then I can make a background that's more appealing for you, the viewer, because right now a blank curtain, a blank wall, and a half of a picture frame is probably not that great looking, but I am working on it. I am doing my best, trying to move as quickly as possible, but sometimes time just doesn't give you the time, whatever that means. But anyways, let's talk about Kyle Busch and why he will win the 2021 championship. On Monday, I guess that was Monday, we discussed Kyle Larson and his chances. Tuesday, we discussed Martin Truex Jr. Today, we will discuss Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch has 2 wins this season, one at Kansas, the other one coming at Pocono. So both of those being 550 tracks, one of them being a playoff track, the other being a non-playoff track, but still, wins are wins, playoff points are playoff points. But yes, 11 top 5s on the season, 16 top 10s, a much better season than his 2020. Remember, 2020 for Kyle Busch standards was terrible. He didn't win until the 34th race of the season. He didn't lead as many laps as he normally did. He got eliminated in the round of 12. And now he sits third on the playoff grid. He is starting to get back to his Kyle Busch form. He isn't dominating like he normally does. He isn't winning 5 to 6 races in a year, but he is doing enough to put him on top of the grid, or at least in the top 3 of the grid as of now, with 2 wins, being consistent with getting those top 5s and those top 10s. So let's talk about his season. Let's talk about his chances at the playoffs. Yes, he has had a strong season. He has been more consistent than his teammate Martin Truex Jr. Remember, we talked about Truex on Tuesday. Truex has more wins than Kyle Busch, but Kyle Busch has more top 5s, more top 10s, so he has shown more consistency than his teammate, which I think is an advantage, which I think is something huge. Like I said, like I'm going to say, with the rest of these guys, playoff points are important. You have to get as many as possible. It doesn't matter how many you have. There's no such thing as too many. We saw that last year with Harvick, so playoff points are important. He needs to win. He needs to get stage wins, whatever it takes to get as many playoff points as possible. But looking at the playoffs, this first round by round, we're going to go round by round, race by race like we normally do, but I'm not concerned about this first round. Darling, he's won at every track. Well, he used to have a win at every track in the Cup Series before they added a bunch of new ones, but other than the Roval, I think he's won at every playoff track. He's got a Darlington win, but Darlington I'm not too concerned about. Richmond, Bristol are 2 tracks he's been really good at in his career. Bristol, he's got a ton of wins. Almost won that race last year if it wasn't for Kevin Harvick getting by him thanks to some lap traffic as well. But he's run extremely well at Bristol throughout his career, even in recent years. Even during his struggles last year, he ran well at Bristol. So this first round I'm not concerned about. Richmond, he's won at a bunch. Bristol, he's won at a bunch. Darlington, he's won at. So that first round, he's got enough playoff points. He's good enough at these tracks. He's been consistent enough. I'm not concerned. He currently has 23 playoff points, which is good. That is good for the first round. But the second round, that gap is going to close. The guys with barely any playoff points, with 3, 4, 5, even 6 playoff points, those guys are most likely to get eliminated. And even if they don't, they're going to be some of the first on the elimination board for the round of 12, and that cut line is going to shrink for Kyle Busch. So get more playoff points in that first round. Gamble maybe. Try to go for some more stage wins, some more race wins, but that first round I'm not concerned about. The second round is Las Vegas, Kyle Busch's home track, Talladega, and the Roval. Kyle Busch has been really good at the 550 tracks this year. As we said earlier in this video, he has 2 wins. He's also led some laps at other tracks, but he's not won at Las Vegas in quite a bit. But once again, he's run well at these 550 tracks. I think he got a top 5 in the spring, so I think he'll do really good in this race. In fact, I think he'll compete for the race win. Joe Gibbs as a whole has been really good at the 550 tracks this season. They have improved tremendously. They're probably the best team on the 550 tracks as a whole, so they are looking to get another win, obviously. Kyle Busch's teammate Martin Truex Jr. won here 2 years ago. Denny Hamlin led a ton of laps in this race last year, so I expect Kyle Busch to run well in the 2021 Las Vegas fall race. Talladega. Kyle Busch recently just has had no luck there. He's won there, but it's been a while. But it seems like he's DNF'd in every single race in the past few years, whether it's a crash caused by someone else, whether he has an engine blow, whatever it may be, he just cannot have any good luck at Talladega. So it's tough to say. You keep saying the bad luck's got to end at some point, right? But it seems like it's never going to end for Kyle Busch at Talladega. But who knows? Talladega is such a wild card, such a toss-up. That's why he needs to add some of these bonus points in that first round. So in the second round, he can maybe afford a bad race at Talladega. But that, considering his playoff point situation, just like Truex, it is a little bit concerning that he doesn't have as many playoff points as maybe Larson. But, you know, he's going to be closer on that cutoff line. So if he can get some playoff points in that first round, have a really good Las Vegas race, then I think he can afford a bad race at Talladega. As for the Roval, Kyle Busch is a really good road course racer. He led some laps at COTA this year. He's run pretty decent on the road courses this year. His teammate Martin Truex Jr. has run really good on road courses this year. But I think he can do enough to get through the second round. The Roval hasn't been Kyle Busch's best road course in his career, but I think he can do enough in that Las Vegas race and the Roval race to get him through. I would not consider the Roval one of his best tracks, one of his strengths, but he is better than most on the road courses, so I think that'll be enough of an advantage for him this year to get through that second round. But Talladega does concern me if he can't get enough playoff points on his name, if he doesn't do well enough at Las Vegas, and if he's on the border of missing the playoffs or not. For the round of 12 and it comes down to the Roval, I would be a little bit nervous, but I think he will do enough. Round of 8, this is what Kyle Busch wants. This is his strength right here. Texas Motor Speedway, he has won multiple times at. In fact, he is the defending winner of the fall race. Won this race last year, of course, his only win of 2020. He's won at Texas in 2018, 2016, 2013, so he's done pretty well at Texas in his career, winning at this track no matter what the surface is, no matter what the banking is, the repave, whatever it may be. He has won at Texas. Different crew chief, different cars, obviously. So he knows how to get it done at Texas. And as I said earlier in this video, that team excels on the 550 track. So I expect him to do really well at Texas. I expect him to do really well at the next race in Kansas, which he won in the spring. So I expect him to do really well in those first two races to build up a little bit of a point, maybe a point gap going into Martinsville. So even if they have a meh Martinsville race, maybe they can advance. Martinsville, Kyle Busch, he has been good at as of recent years. He's got a few wins there. Won there first in 2016. Won there again in 2017. I can't remember if he's won there again, but he has had some good runs. He has led some laps at Martinsville. So, you know, he has all three of these tracks. He has past success, but Kansas and Texas, he has recent success, which is huge, which is important. He's run well at these tracks in their current condition. He's run good at these tracks in the current package. So I think that is a huge advantage for that 18 team. And I think if they can do good enough in those first two races, heck, I think they can win one of those races. They can win at Texas. They can win at Kansas. I think they are good enough to win at one of those tracks that they won't even have to worry about Martinsville. They could just go straight to Phoenix in the one of those first two races. So, yeah, I think Kyle Busch has a great shot there at Texas and Kansas. Even if he goes into a tough situation at Martinsville, I think he could pull through. Then Phoenix, as I've said earlier, the championship race is a toss-up, but I forgot to mention this in the Truex video. Kyle Busch has, just like Truex, Kyle Busch has experience winning in this format. He's the only repeat champion in this format in its 7-8 years of existence. It started back in 2014. We have had new champions in this format almost every year. Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson, I think, are the only repeat champions. But we've seen different champions. We've seen new champions. Kyle Busch won his first championship under this format. So we have seen that this format creates new champions. It creates a kind of a difference in the championship winning. But Kyle Busch has been the only one in NASCAR Cup Series history to be a repeat champion in this format. And I think that's something to his advantage. Sure, both those championships were at Homestead, but Kyle Busch has won at Phoenix. He's won at the reconfigured Phoenix. So I think that's something to his advantage, but also winning in this format is an advantage Obviously, a new crew chief, Ben Bayshore. I don't know how good he'll be on top of the pit box in a championship situation for him, but Joe Gibbs Racing, they'll give him a good enough car. Ben Bayshore, he'll probably make the right calls, so I trust that team, but they have a 25% shot. Just like anyone else in that championship race, they'll have a 25% shot. But, yeah, I think he's got a pretty good shot. He's going to have some tough competition with his teammates, obviously Hamlin, Truex, but also some of the Hendrick guys, Larson, Elliott, Bowman, Byron. Even looking at some other teams, if Kevin Harvick can start to get it together in the playoffs, that's going to be a tough team to beat. If we look at, let's look at the playoff grid here. Ryan Blaney, if they can get some more consistent runs, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, the list goes on and on, but that is why Kyle Busch will win the 2021 championship. It's going to be a fun championship series to watch, hopefully. Format's going to be weird. I've never been a big fan of the format, but it is what we are doing. It is what it is. We can't change that, but that is why Kyle Busch will win the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series Championship. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and I will see you tomorrow for the next one. I think it's Chase Elliott, but yeah.